The 2026 NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover Motor Speedway was always going to be historic. It was the first time the exhibition event had ever been held at the Monster Mile in the race's 42-year history. A brand new format, a $1 million prize on the line, and a packed house ready to watch 36 of the best drivers in the world tear up one of NASCAR's most unforgiving tracks. What nobody fully anticipated was that the most explosive moment of the entire weekend wouldn't happen on the racetrack. It would happen right after the checkered flag dropped. Before getting into the drama, you need to understand what was actually at stake here, because the format made everything hit harder. All 36 cars took the green flag together for the first time in All-Star Race history. The race was broken into 3 segments. 2 75-lap heats, followed by a 200-lap finale. After segment 1, the top 26 cars were inverted, meaning the segment 1 winner restarted dead last for segment 2. The chaos that format created was immediate, brutal, and completely unforgiving. 19 drivers were automatically locked into the final segment. Cup race winners, past All-Star winners, and former champions. 6 more locked in based on combined average finishes across the 2 heats. One final spot went to the winner of the All-Star fan vote. The race did not wait around to establish its identity. On lap 2, Ryan Preece came down the banking entering turn 1, made contact with Todd Gilliland, and triggered a 9-car pileup on the front stretch. Preece's number 60 Ford backed into the outside wall with a massive impact, and the rear end erupted in flames. Preece climbed out unharmed and was quickly evaluated and released from the infield care center. He later took full responsibility on social media. "I'm fine, I seem to take big hits," Preece said. "I don't know what happened, but if it was anything, it was probably just too close on my part to go into turn 1 and just got sideways. So if it was my fault, I'm sorry." That single crash collected Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, John Hunter Nemechek, and others. The damage was severe and set the tone for everything that followed. Bubba Wallace then won segment 1, passing his own team co-owner Denny Hamlin on the final restart, before a second 9-car wreck ended the segment under caution when Riley Herbst went sideways on the front stretch and collected Elliott for a second time, along with Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Noah Gragson, and several others. By the time segment 2 was underway, the carnage was already reshaping the championship conversation. Ross Chastain was taken out on just the 6th lap of segment 2 when he made contact with Brad Keselowski exiting turn 2, slamming the inside wall and destroying the front clip on his number 1 Busch Light Chevrolet. "Bummer, because we thought we executed that first stage really well," Chastain said. "We weren't passing anybody, but we were able to maintain, which has not been the case for this downforce package." His day was done. Tyler Reddick ultimately won segment 2, passing Briscoe with 9 laps to go. Chase Elliott, who had been caught in 2 separate crashes during segment 1, never advanced to the final segment at all. And Kyle Larson, despite making the finale, retired with 60 laps remaining because of a power steering failure. The money round came down to 26 cars, but for the majority of the 200-lap finale, it was really a 2-car race. Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe, both driving Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas, combined to lead all but 36 laps of the entire segment. Briscoe led early, then Hamlin took over, then Briscoe surged back. After the final restart with 52 laps remaining, Briscoe took the point from Hamlin and looked like he might be able to hold on for one of the biggest wins of his Cup Series career. He couldn't. Hamlin patiently and methodically tracked him down. He made the decisive pass on lap 171, with 29 laps remaining, and never looked back. The final margin was 0.887 seconds. It was Hamlin's 3rd consecutive win at Dover, his 2nd career All-Star Race victory. The first came at Charlotte Motor Speedway in 2015, and at 45 years old, it made him the 2nd oldest All-Star Race winner in NASCAR history. He led a race-high 103 laps in the final segment alone. Briscoe was honest about why he couldn't hold the lead. "I just didn't have the rear grip," he said. "Anytime that I was not the leader, I would be really good. And as soon as I would take the lead, I would go into the next corner. I'm like, man, I'm way too loose." The technical problem traced back to the format itself. Because Briscoe started deep in the field for both of the first 2 segments, his team never had the opportunity to adjust the car for clean air running. When he got to the front in the finale, the setup simply wasn't built for it. "If you're ever going to beat Denny Hamlin anywhere, you have to be perfect," Briscoe admitted. "And I thought I was near perfect, just needed a little bit more." What made the performance even more remarkable was the context surrounding it. Briscoe had slammed the wall in practice on Saturday, forcing his crew to essentially rebuild the entire car overnight. He had also been dealing with a stomach bug for 2 to 3 days heading into race day. "I knocked the wall down in practice and we basically rebuilt the whole car," Briscoe said. So for them to be able to just get the car back to where it was competitive, it says a lot about the guys. Despite all of that, he led 61 laps in the finale and finished 0.887 seconds behind the winner. It was the best All-Star Race result of his career. And then came what everyone is still talking about. After the race, Briscoe walked over to Denny Hamlin to congratulate him. Standard stuff between teammates after a hard-fought battle. But according to Briscoe, Hamlin's response was anything but standard. Briscoe claimed that Hamlin told him he was still not Cup Series level. When Briscoe repeated that to reporters outside the number 19 hauler, his word for it was immediate and unambiguous. He called it classless. Not emotional, not competitive trash talk. Classless. The reaction online was instant, because this wasn't two rivals from competing organizations having it out. These are teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing, drivers who represent the same organization, the same engineers, the same ownership every single weekend. Briscoe hadn't asked for special treatment or excessive praise. He had rebuilt a wrecked car, raced through illness, held his own against one of the most decorated drivers on concrete tracks in this era, and simply walked over to offer a handshake. What he allegedly received back was a shot at his fundamental legitimacy as a Cup Series driver. When reporters asked Hamlin about the accusations, he never directly denied saying it. Instead, he acknowledged emotions run high after races and that they had raced hard all night. That non-denial response added fuel to an already burning fire across NASCAR social media. What deepens the controversy is Briscoe's own admission about how he raced. Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic reported that Briscoe emphatically and on the record stated he raced at roughly 50% of what he was actually capable of, specifically because Hamlin was his teammate. If this was not a teammate, this is a very different outcome, Gluck relayed. Briscoe said if it had been anyone else, he would have opened up his hands more, and it would have been dirty. He didn't drive dirty because Hamlin had never driven him that way, and because crashing a teammate to hand $1 million win to a rival organization wasn't something he was willing to do. Bianchi summed up the position Briscoe is in plainly. "Chase is right, you're kind of the new guy at JGR. You don't want to upset the apple cart. You want to be a good teammate. You want to kind of establish yourself and say, hey, listen, I'm for you guys. I can be counted on, and going and crashing your teammate while racing for the win and handing that victory to your rival organization is not a good way to do that." So Briscoe made the professional call. He raced clean, finished second, walked over to congratulate the winner, and allegedly got told he wasn't Cup level in return. Beyond the controversy, there were other storylines worth noting from Dover. Hamlin revealed after the race that he planned to give the $1 million prize to his mother for furniture in her new home, an especially meaningful gesture given that his parents' home was destroyed in a fire in December, and his father, Denny Hamlin, who had already been dealing with serious health complications, passed away shortly after. Hamlin has been dedicating his 2026 season to his father's memory. For Briscoe, this result wasn't an isolated flash. He finished fourth at Watkins Glen the week prior, and now this. "This is what we should be doing week in and week out," he said. "We've just executed the last 2 weeks, so our speed is clearly there. It's just a matter of putting that speed to use and capitalizing on it." He is already locked into the playoffs, and the number 19 team is building momentum at exactly the right point in the regular season. Both Hamlin and Briscoe also pushed back on the format and the venue pairing. Briscoe said the race felt like the Coke 600 or the Southern 500 in terms of length and atmosphere. Hamlin went further, asking NASCAR officials directly whether the official results would list 36 cars or 26, essentially questioning when the All-Star Race had actually started. "Let's give Dover their points race back, and then let's figure out where we're gonna go, and then figure out the format," Hamlin said. "Let's start there." The on-track product with the new higher horsepower, reduced downforce package drew praise. The event structure did not. The Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway is next, May 24th. And the question hanging over Joe Gibbs Racing as the sport's longest race approaches is no longer just about speed or strategy. It is about what was allegedly said in the Dover infield after a $1 million race between two teammates, and whether that tension quietly disappears or builds into something larger as the regular season stretch run begins.